We are live. How is it going, everybody? It is the RP Ginger here, and we're back at it again with the Storm King's Thunder Crew, session 30, titled The Grim, the Doomed, and the Deadly. Last we left off, the party was in the Eye of the Allfather, an ancient lost giant temple where they were seeking the magical knowledge of an entity called the Oracle. They finally discovered their way into the Oracle's chamber, learned 6 secrets about how to stop the shattering of the ordning, and from there left back out into the main chamber. They heard a presence walking through the massive main doors, expecting their friend Harshnag to be there. They, however, met the face of a giant blue ancient dragon known as Imrith, the doom of the desert, the dragoness of statues. And that's kind of where we left off. The party tried to basically, I don't even know if you guys really tried to get out of it as much as you just were caught kind of dumbfounded, and they didn't get on the good side of Imrith, to say the least, and she has decided that she is going to kill the party, and that seems semi-inconvenient. So let's see how that goes and get into it. So with the intro, I'll wish you guys good luck and see you on the other side. Don't hate me. A cold breath struggles to escape your lungs as you stand in this larger-than-life shrine to the ancient giant gods. Lightning now uncontrollably lashes into the frozen storm into the frozen stone, like a great storm. The point of this storm explodes from a jagged, long, white ivory horn. The white is stained for the centuries of life and chaos it has seen. Hopelessness begins to fill every muscle before in you as you stand before this swelling fury that is Imrith, the dragon of statues and the doom of the desert. The word doom has never resonated so truly in you until this very moment. It's as if her very presence is draining the blood from your head and the air from your lungs. You feel woozy, you feel weak, and you truly at this moment feel all is lost. As this dragon stands before you, you see her scales that look like armor, dark blue and overlapping like great plates of stone from the frozen North Mountains that you find yourself in. Her wingspan spreads larger than any of the most impressive galleons of men that you've seen. Imrith in every way seems like she is superior to you all. And as you look at her now and see her standing before these giant statues that look massive to you, it seems that the 6 giant gods now seem to be worshiping her instead of the Allfather. Her size just makes them pale in comparison. And you see these powerful beams begin to shoot from her horn into one, and her voice booms out as she's shooting lightning into these statues, and the stone is breaking away. And she says, "Rise before me, puppets, for I am now your master. You will bend to my will, just like your descendants will soon follow." And as she speaks to these lifeless statues and tells them to bend to her will, to your horror, they begin to do so. And the first one is Stromnus. Stromnus is the giant god of storms. And you see him in the northeast corner begin to shamble to life. This 60-foot tall statue picks up his trident and begins to wield it towards you. Her head now, Livy, as you are the closest to her, comes down to your level, only 30 feet away. And even the single fang in her maw of death makes you feel insignificant. She looks to you. "How foolish and unfortunate you were to come here." She now looks at the rest of the group, Warrendell, Octavio, Sunlit, Bjornhilda, Livy, all of you, and she says, "The truths that you have discovered, the struggles you have endured, and the effort you have put forth to get here. Know that in your last moments, that it was all for nothing. For you and everything you have learned will be forgotten in this miserable stone rubble. Prepare yourself for the doom of the desert." And then she begins to lunge forth. And that is where we'll jump into initiative. Warndell, you banged it out with a 20. Go ahead, my friend. You are first in the initiative. Stromnus, the statue of the giant of storm giants, is now shambling to life, and the ancient blue dragon Imrith stands before Livy, only 30 feet away, seeking to bring death to you all.
Last I remember, Warren was speaking with this beautiful blue dragon. He's just going to move back out of the way. I know Octavius was moving forward to say something or do something. So I'll just basically just hold my action. I don't know. Can you move and like hold your action? I'm not sure if that works that way or not.
Absolutely. You can move and then hold an action. What's your triggering point on the action?
Basically, if she goes to use a breath weapon or some sort of area attack type thing.
Okay, so if she goes to be aggressive towards you guys, you're going to do something?
Yeah.
All right, and where do you want to move? Can you move your token, or?
I think I can. Is each square 5 feet?
Yeah.
10, 10, 15, 20. I'm just moving back a little bit. So, okay. Actually, I'll move over by Libby. That way I can at least help her. Okay. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'll just hold my action if she goes to the like a breath weapon or something like that.
Excellent. Warrendell follows perfectly in line behind Livy as he readies an action for this giant beast to do something. Next in the initiative order is actually Imrith. And as she begins to step forward, oof, you hear the pounding of her feet, and she will indeed jump up and go for... Actually, you know what she's first going to do? Is send out another beam of lightning. And not to your demise, a breath attack, as she says to you that she will make this slow and painful, and that your demise is a terrible one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see next, as she shoots a beam of lightning, that the fire giant, Sutur, god of fire giants, is the next to begin to animate. And then she will go in, Livy, and look like she's about to attack. Warndell, do you want to do anything?
Man, I forgot she was up right after me. No, can't really do what I want to do right now, so. Nope, I'm all good. Go ahead.
All right. Then, Livy, you take... First, actually, I need everyone to give me a wisdom saving throw. Let's not forget how dragons work. Let me know what you roll. What's that, sorry?
Is there a way to make the... Never mind, I found it. I was trying to make the map smaller.
I wasted my nat 20 on it.
Well, that's good. All right. Wandel, what did you roll?
7, I think.
7?
Wisdom is not my good stat.
So the DC is 20. Anyone who's rolled lower than a 20 is now frightened as she begins to lunge forward. That feeling of demise, that feeling of pure hopelessness completely surrounds and overwhelms you. You, on your turn, cannot move towards her. You have disadvantage while she's in your sight and all kinds of bad stuff. But at the end of your turn, you can try to get rid of that. And then she will go on the offensive. Livy, she comes up to you first, trying to do a biting strike. She rolled a natural 1 with a 17 to hit on that. Is a 17 still? Wait, no. A natural 1's an auto miss. So you're good. And then she will, as you just... I wouldn't say you dodge the attack. You just fall back in fear as her maul just playfully comes and chomps down. You kind of fall back, picking yourself up, feeling the terror. She comes forward again, and this time rolls a 32 to hit. I'm going to assume that does so. So she does to you a fair amount of damage, 20 damage. And then she will... as getting in close, swipe over with her tail, and you see Bjornhilde and Sunlit getting ready to try to flank and do something. Bjornhilde kind of caught by surprise, 26 to hit. She obviously gets swiped in the side with her powerful tail and hit pretty drastically. Octavius Wren, you are now up. What do you do as this behemoth now stands before you?
Great dragon, doom of the desert, giant and ominous Emerith. We have learned much from this oracle. We have learned where the worm skull throne is. We have learned where the giant king could be. We just need your help to get there. We know what we need to do. We need a conch of a dragon lord. Or of a giant lord. If you help us, we can help you. Please.
She momentarily stops and her head darts over to you slowly like this large worm that it is, and you begin to hear, "You foolish mortal. You think you can be of any aid to me? How pitiful you truly are as you beg for your life. You have walked into knowledge, but you know nothing. Everything you spoke to me, I already know."
With that, Octavius will run to Livy and gonna cast Death Ward on Livy.
Excellent. You dart across as Livy's picking herself up from the claw attack. I'm going to move you right beside her on her right side. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you begin channeling your energy towards eel matter to give you some strength to protect Livy, and the death ward is now imbued over upon her.
My hammer starts to glow a faint glow as I'm reciting the words.
Absolutely. And she says to you, as Bjornhilda is next up, "You fool. I have already infiltrated Maelstrom. Those foolish giants bend to my will, and they don't even know it. This shall be the last secret you learn before your death." And Bjornhilda lets out a battle cry as she yells for the great white tiger to bless her on this sacred hunt. And she lunges forth, picking herself up from the tail, and charges in and says, "For the hunt! I will bring you on, O great tiger!" and begins hacking recklessly. She rolls a 17, which is a miss, and a 16, which is a miss. She starts chunking into this tail, but it literally is like stone as she swings into these giant scales. Nothing seems to even leave a dent on the dragon. Next up, Imrith will use one of her legendary actions that I always forget to use, and she will send a... Look at what can she do? Let me not cheat here. A wing attack. That sounds fun. Give me a dexterity saving throw, everybody. Livy, you may, or no, you don't. Holy shit. DC 24. Can I get a DC 24, anybody?
I got a 12.
Mine's coming. It's just slow to go for some reason.
No worries, no worries. No rush. We got all day.
Also, I guess that's technically a disadvantage too, so whatever.
Yeah, true.
The heck.
I guess we'll see how bad the second roll is. So a 10 for her highest.
Nice. So yeah, you're knocked prone I guess I shouldn't say all of you. Let me roll. I'm going to pull up Sunlit's character sheet also. We'll put it over here. And she rolls. She's pretty good at dexterity. Maybe she can do it. Even Sunlit is caught off guard. And next up is Bjornhilda. And Bjornhilda also does not make it. You all are knocked prone as this powerful gust of wind just bellows from the wingspan of Imrith. And she hits you for 13 points of damage, everybody.
Livy's ears are ringing.
All right. So, next up in the initiative is Stromnus begins to finish his animation, and he will be able to act next turn. And same with Stuter. Sunlit in the Darkness is now up, and she probably yells out something along the lines of, "This is an unwinnable encounter. We have to get out of here. Fly, you fools," she says in a very Gandalf-y voice. Just kidding. She probably doesn't say that, but that's the best I got. And shit, I don't really know what Sunlit does at all, but I know she makes a buttload of attacks. So I'm going to do that and hopefully do some honor to Sunlit here. That's a miss. That's a hit. And that's a miss. And she has some key points. I will spend one and do another attack. I think it's 2 more, actually. That's a hit, I think. Let me just double check. No, it's a miss. Holy shit, this AC. So that's 1 attack that gets through on Imrith as she begins to unleash this fury of her Kama whip, thrashing and lashing into the dragon's hide. Finally, with one of the strikes, they get through, and it hits her for a measly 7 points of damage as the first wound has been blown on Imrith. She spins around, seeing Sunlit has now jumped in and begins lashing, and she will use another legendary action and send forth a... Can she do a tail attack? Onto Sunlit, and she definitely hits Sunlit, and she is going to take 19 damage. To the top of the initiative, Warndell. Chaos. Actually, that's fine, actually. I super skipped. No, go ahead. Warndell, you're up.
You sure?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Warndell, when he hears someone say that, he'll nod as well and be like, we need to get out of here. It's better to live than die like this. Man. All right. So, how tall are these statues?
The ones that are animating are, I believe, around 60, and then the Allfather in the center is like 80 feet.
All right. So, as a bonus action, I can levitate. So, I'm going to levitate. That puts me at 60 feet.
Okay.
So, I'll get that up so I can start to get out of the way of these things.
Yep.
I don't have the map up, but I'm going to move out towards, I guess it would be the west, towards the entrance or exit area there.
Okay.
Whatever I can move, which is 30 feet, but I'm going to cast a spell, which will move me an extra 10 feet, so 40 feet total. And
moved.
The closer giant there, the fire giant, though, I guess would be to the south of me.
Mm-hmm.
I will use Shatter on. It's got disadvantage because it's stone. It needs a con save, DC 18.
All right, con save coming at you. Maybe. I think my fantasy guns just throws.
Or actually, I think I can do it, can I? Maybe? No, there's no button there for me to do it.
It rolled a 9, so it fails.
It used to have damage buttons and everything, but they're gone, so I don't know.
You probably got to click the action economy thing on your character sheet.
I got it. All right. Yeah, not the best, but it's a little bit out of the way anyway. And I guess that would be on the fire one for a total of 12 damage.
All right.
That is it for the moment.
And as a boom of, just basically, you just guide to me what Shatter looks like, actually, before I take your thunder. How does it manifest? You just like clap your hands together and make like a loud ass boom, or what?
Basically, yeah, in this case, I'm just looking to get out of there. So as I, tell the others they need to run or whatever, I'll focus my voice projection basically towards this thing, and it just gets louder and louder until it's this clap of thunder that washes over top of the stone fire giant. But again, I motion for the others to at least try to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a way you can share the map? Because I can't get it to pop back up for me.
Coming right at you. Should be back up.
There we go. Cool,
okay.
Thank you.
Just double checking here. All right. And you'll be interested to know that as you cast this spell, you see that the ancient stone and this ancient frozen stone that has been sitting here for centuries seems to be a little bit more susceptible to this damage than you thought, as you realize that it does have a vulnerability to this spell. So you blast forth like a pretty good chunk on it. It's by no means like sundered or anything like that, but it was a little more powerful than you thought it was going to be.
That's because I'm magnificent.
All right. Next, legendary action. Limerick is going to move back and start to position herself in a way. And as she does this, she howls out in laughter.
Attacks of opportunity.
Let me double check. I don't. Maybe. Yeah, you can have opportunity attacks. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Let me know how you roll.
Very poorly.
Hey, you missed. Anybody else? You want to swing at her, Dan? I'll let Sunlit swing at her. Sunlit hits. Sunlit hits.
I only got 17.
17. All right, 17's a miss. Imrith's AC, for anyone that wants to get disheartened, is a 22.
That's not hurt or nothing.
So is that. Imrith now being up. She says that I grow impatient with your insolence. You dare fight me, the doom of the desert, dragoness of statues? I shall show you what I'm capable of. And she begins to channel all the lightning. It momentarily stops. And then it begins to grow and grow on her horn as the storm, a storm like you've never seen before, begins to swell. And she begins to point it at you, Octavius, and you, Livy. And she says, "This is your doom. This is your sacred fate." And begins to channel it to all the energy that she has. And then, lo and behold, someone secretly awaits in the initiative. As Warndell, you look back and see that your friends are about to get evaporated. You hear something burst from the door from the south. It moves quicker than you can imagine, but it's this large form and this thin, like dull blue skin, and you swear a massive white beard lunges through the room as you see Harshnag, with his ready to action in the initiative, begin to charge out. And you hear him yell, "Livy! Octavius! Get down!" And he jumps over top of you, landing just in front of you. And with his great axe and shield, he holds it out. And then the beam is released. It's like a wall completely envelops around you, Livy and Octavius, and all you see is darkness, and then suddenly the brightest light you've ever seen in your life as you feel the heat and you feel the energy of this lightning bolt go off. Let me just do a roll here. I feel like I channeled some like Optimus Prime there. Harshnag most certainly fails.
I feel like Livy's screaming like, "Harshnag, no!"
Do I have any reactionary spells that I can use to help Harshnag?
You tell me.
Well, I'm thinking either protection from good or evil.
Oh no, that's not a reactionary.
What else do we got here?
Yeah, I don't think you'd have anything that's reactionary. Aid is an action.
Shit. All right.
So Sunlit and Bjornhilda kind of get the bird's eye view of this, and there's this moment where the energy the air and the energy just kind of grows stale or like just pauses. And there's the scene where you see Harshnag jumping over the head of Livy and Octavius, and then kind of sliding and holding up his great axe girt that's glowing with this ferocious blue energy, and the buckler on his arm, and he holds it up and completely walls off, and then the beam just shoots into him, a beam so powerful that it could probably just like take down a building. 74 damage is dealt to Harshnag. As the light subsides, you smell burnt flesh. Your eyes kind of just like have that like bulbs in it where you've seen too bright of a light. And then you see Harshnag standing before you. And he looks back to you all with the most serious look that you've ever seen him have. Being Harshnag the Grim, he's never been a particularly happy fellow, but you see fear in his eyes. And he yells out to you guys, "You must leave! Take what destiny you have learned and get out of here." And he was not actually up. That was his ready to action when I said that I forgot somebody in the initiative. He wanted to be more heroic, okay? Next up is Imrith. And she is going to, seeing Harshnag, say, "Harshnag the Grim. How like it is, how like it. Oh my god. How like you to align yourself with such weak, foolish men. It has been so very long since we've last met. You've made me wait too long to finish you off." And she is going to begin to, again, frightful presence to try to scare Harshnag. You guys don't need to do this because you already did your shit. And Harshnag rolls a natural 1, so he's going to succumb to that also as he regrets his life choices. And then she is going to take advantage of that by pounding into him with a claw attack, a bite attack, and a tail attack for Bjorn, Hilda, and Sunlit. All of which are going to find purchase. So let me roll that damage. Let me roll that damage. All right. Harshnag getting chomped on. He tries to hold up his buckler, but is just met with the massive maw of this creature, chomping down on his arm. You just hear the ripping and tearing of his flesh as he howls out in pain. He tries to distance himself. A claw attack takes him by surprise as he is now definitely bloodied. You see blood begins to pour from his arm as it's almost ripped off. Sunlit and Bjorn Hilda try to like rally in his defense, but are just caught off by his tail. Bjorn Hilda, pushing her out of the way, takes the brunt of it. And that is it for Imrith. Next up is Octavios. He looks back at you and says, "You must flee. This fight is for you to face another time. Take your knowledge and stop whatever evils this worm has planned."
Yeah, Octavius would look to the seriousness in Harshnag's voice and hear the intensity and the earnestness in his voice. Look to the rest of the group. "We must go." What, as a character, what do I know about the Allfather in the center of the room? Like, does Octavius have any reason to believe that he would be able to turn the giant statues against the dragon?
That Octavios would be able to turn it?
No, the actual statue in the center of the room. What I believe.
As far as you're aware, that's just a statue as like a memorial or like kind of a tribute to the Allfather.
All right, so like, there's no, because like the spears and stuff created the magical doorway, right?
You can do like, what do you have planned? You can like, I guess, like reach out to the Allfather and see if he'll hear your prayer.
No, I blew his head off, if that matters.
He did blow his head off.
I'm just probably gonna start retreating.
Drag Livy with you.
And I'll cast Aid on Harshnag as I run.
All right, so he gets a D4 to all his shit, basically.
Yeah.
Is that, wait, no, Aid, that's Bless I'm thinking of. What's Aid do?
Aid, I think, gives me 3 choices of how I can help him.
Let me look it up, actually.
All
right. Aid. So, you can toughen up to 3 creatures, and you give them temporary hit points.
All that to Harshnag.
Okay. Or you can only give him the temporary hit points once, so you can choose 2 other people.
We'll go with Sunlit and Bjorn Hilda.
Okay, Sunlit, Bjorn Hilda. Ba-boom. Nicely done. And you begin to follow. I guess you see Warrendale floating around, levitating in the air, 60 feet up in the air, about 40 some feet away from you. You just want to head towards him. He seems to be heading to the exit.
Yeah, I'll be following him or in any direction that he's pointing towards the exit.
Okay. You head over that way. Bjorn Hilda is now next, and she is going to again swing and swing and swing and swing. She can't seem to be getting through this hide. She seems to be lost in a rage, a bloodlust, and you hear like Sunlit just yell out, "Bjorn Hilda, you must stop. This is a hunt we cannot end." And she, hearing the great white tiger's voice, comes out of her trance, and she is going to begin to also kind of follow suit and run. She's going to take off. Livy, you're now up.
Okay. She is terrified. Frightened, so
everyone, don't forget to make your wisdom save to see if you snap out of the frightened. So everyone would have already had a chance to do it. So everyone do one right now.
Disadvantage.
I think so. Let me just double check. Frightened.
Because I know it's like everything's pretty much at disadvantage.
I don't know if everything is, but 1 second, I'll check. I always forget the conditions.
That's blocking her view of the right.
You're disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. So no, not saving throws.
That's cool. Check that. Let's see. I'm pretty sure she's still pissed.
Yep, you're still definitely afraid. And so is Wando. And what did you roll, Octavius? Oh wait, no, Octavius was the only one that succeeded. Bjorn Hilda, still afraid. And Livy, or not Livy, Sunlit, still afraid. All right. Your turn, Livy.
Well, ultimately, she is retreating.
All right.
She is so sad, though. Harshnag, poor Harshnag.
And he says, as you're running away, he says, "Don't worry. I'll meet up with you. I will find you, Livy. Flee." Anything else on your turn? You want to fire an attack? You do see that this stone giant Suitor, the Friar Stone Giant, looks like he's going to be coming.
She'll hold up the maiden just for laughs and giggles, just to be like, let's see if we can, I don't know, blip, blip, ice. Because obviously, she's just like, no, not working, run.
Yeah.
I should go die.
You fire off a bolt into the stone giant's face, but it does not seem to matter. Or the statue giant. Next up is Suitor, the fire giant. And he is going to start to pound up. And now coming in between you three, it can, let's see what it can do. What are you capable of, Mr. Stone Giant? Going to try to, at first, punch into you, Warrendale, flying in the air. You're 60 feet above, so it can still technically reach you right now. It swings for a 20 to hit.
I will use shield.
All right, sick. So yeah, I imagine the scene where its fist just comes flying out and it just completely overtakes you. But at the last second, as you see Warrendale disappearing behind this stone fist, just boof, you hear this powerful slam as if it's punched into a wall. And then as he pulls its fist away, Warrendale is just standing there with the arcane shield cast around him. A shockwave from the powerful punch is thrown, but no damage done to Warrendale. Next up, it will spin around and then do like a ground pound on top of you, Octavius, seeing you underneath it. And oh my God, I am so sorry. I rolled a natural 20. This is unfortunate. Octavius, you take 33 damage. As you look above and you're momentarily afraid for Octavia or from Warrendale, you see that he's fine. But then caught up in the moment, this fist comes pounding down right on top of you, slamming into you, completely catching you off guard. 33 damage, my friend.
Octavius is bloodied, but still continuing his best to avoid any more attacks.
All right. Next up is Stromnus, and he is going to begin to head over and seem like he's going to try to cut you off as Imrith yells, "Do not let anyone escape!" And I keep on forgetting that she has legendary attacks, so she is going to do one of those. I always fucking forget these, even though I always make notes to never forget these. All right. Sunlit still has not acted yet, so a tail whip going towards her as she sees that your plan is to escape. She looks at Sunlit and says, "You cannot escape this fate." Whipping the tail across, Sunlit, now bloodied, tries to flip over but cannot jump over this massive tail. And next up is Harshnag. He goes on the offensive, yelling out to Imrith that, "I know not why you are here in this sacred haven, but your presence is a blight wherever you are found, Imrith. I know not what terrible plans you have, but I know with absolution that it is not coincidence that you are here. Now face me." And he takes Gert and begins to swing it around, and then with all of his might slams into Gert. And you've only ever seen Harshnag in battle a couple times. And it's at this moment that you knew every time he was fighting with you guys, he was holding back, because the ferocity and just power and speed of Harshnag, this old frost giant, becomes quickly apparent as he goes into a blinding 3 attacks, hitting with all 3 of them. Damn, son. Let's see if I can actually make this work. No, why doesn't it work? That's annoying. I must not actually be your token. Okay. Imrith, where are you? I'm just going to target Imrith so that I don't have to keep doing this every single time. Okay, Imrith is targeted, and he lands with all 3 strikes. So the first strike swipes across, 31 damage. Second strike, as the worm begins to try to back away momentarily, caught off guard, hits again for a total of 24 damage. And I actually lied. He's supposed to be rolling at disadvantage. So let me just double check that he didn't miss. He hit on the first one for sure. He hit on the second one for sure. And, whoa, he hit on all 3 actually. So all 3 damages go to her. Swiping again for 26 damage. And then kind of pushing her back momentarily. To Imrith's surprise, 29 damage. As Harshnag just goes apeshit on this worm. She does not seem to be phased, though, as she says, "You do not seem to be growing any weaker in your age." Laughing it off, she uses her legendary action now to focus on him, realizing that he is something that she cannot ignore. She does a powerful tail whip attack again, hitting Harshnag now. Absolutely abolishing your aid and whipping into him, knocking him down to his knees. He spins around and picks himself up as Sunlit is now up. She is going to use her super speed as she runs a total of 100 feet, but not before spinning around and unleashing her radiant sun-searing beams. I can't remember what they're called. Searing arc strike. And she's going to let out a dexterity saving throw, apparently. Oh, wait, no, this is different. I remember now. She is going to natural 20. There we go, Sunlit. All right. And then I think she can do 3 of these, so I'm just going to roll. A natural 19 is going to be a hit, and a 14 plus that is a miss. So she gets a crit and a normal 1 through. That's a pretty impressive amount of damage. All right, next up is Warrendale again, as the retreat has begun.
How badly do you look injured, Octavius?
Octavius has blood constantly pouring from his face. It's so bad that you can't really see the color of his skin beyond it anymore.
He's looked worse.
All right.
He's moving strongly forward, though.
Okay. In that case, I got the fly, so I am just going to continue on getting out of here. Let's see. 10, 20, 30. I'll move up at least as high as I can. I can go up another 20 feet.
Yeah,
Try and make sure I'm out of the way of this thingy, and then I'm just flying forward 30 feet. And
okay, you can fly 60 feet, I believe.
oh, can I? Maybe. If so, I'll move myself forward. I was thinking it was only 30, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, unless you have like a different fly than I know. Like, is it the fly spell you're casting?
no, it's off of the pendant thingy there.
Oh, let me double check then.
I think it's only.
It might be less. Either way, you could dash though.
Let's see, pendant right there. I can fly. Oh, it's only 20 feet, so I can dash. So 40. Okay.
Okay, 40. There you go.
I'll put myself right there beside Sunlit.
Cool. Not doing any actions or anything?
No, because I have one save just in case of anything, so I'm good. I'm just moving out of there.
Okay. Imrith is going to shoot another one of her energy beams out and try to animate another statue. This time it launches into Memnor, the cloud giant, as he is going to animate next round. And then she will continue the battle with Harshnag. Targeting Harshnag. Actually, I shouldn't actually do that because she might attack somebody else also. Okay. She says, yes, Harshnag, you are right. It is no coincidence that I am here. But there is nothing you can do to stop your pitiful ordering from being broken. The giants are at war, and they will crush all small folk and then themselves in their futile war that they run amok. And she laughs and torments him. And she will begin to attack Harshnag. Actually, not before trying to recharge her lightning. She does not, though. 3 attacks on Harshnag. A miss with a natural 1. A hit. And a hit. So, Harshnag, let's see how you're looking. Yeah, he looks like he's on the verge of not winning this fight by any means. As even though he's one of the most powerful friends that you have met, he is no match for Imarith. Octavius, you're now up.
Chris, I'm sorry, man, but can you tell me what the distance on Mass Heal is?
Absolutely, I can tell you the distance on Mass Heal. It'd be my pleasure, actually. And I wanted to confirm that it's Mass Healing Word you're asking about?
Yeah.
All right, that is a range of 60 feet.
Is Harshnag within range of that?
Everybody that is your friend is in 60 feet range.
All right. Am I engaged with the stone giant that hit me?
He is just in front of you. Although his arm is long in reach, he's technically not engaged with you. Or actually, yeah, sorry, you definitely are engaged with him. I'm lying.
Even though he's so big, I'm still engaged?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Is it a bonus action? Can I disengage?
Nope, that's a main action. Although, however, Mass Healing Word, which is a spell you're trying to cast, is a bonus action.
Really?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I will disengage as my action.
Yep.
I will cast Mass Healing Word on myself, Harshnag, and the rest of the group.
Yep.
And then I will try to book it towards Warrendale.
Yep.
As far as I can move.
Yeah, you moving your 30 feet. All right. So for the for the heals that you roll, it is 1d4 at this level plus your spellcasting modifier. So plus your wisdom.
It's a 4. That's 7.
Plus 7. All right. So 11 healing. So let's give that out. How can I do this in a convenient manner? Because that will take a long time to actually manually heal everybody.
I just changed mine.
Oh, you just changed yours?
Mm.
Okay. Let me just do it actually really quick. Bam. It's actually pretty easy to math that out. Harshnag is down to... Okay, Sunlit is down to that. And Warrendale has already healed himself. There we go. Very nicely done. Okay. you will see Harshnag kind of drop down to his knees now as he is bloodied. And Imrith will say, "You are no match for me. Now watch as I kill those precious small folk you care so much for." And she is actually going to begin to come over and actually try to... Wait, no. That's just her legendary action that I'm doing. She disengages and begins to fly over in the direction, moving 30 feet. All right. Bjornhilda. Bjornhilda will do what she can to just dash and get up towards Livy. She is definitely the furthest behind, and she just says, "Run, Livy! I will cover you." Livy, you're now up. You see that Suter is right behind you. What's that? Sorry?
What do you think I'm doing? Fucking it. Let's see. This looks about 30-ish feet.
Yep, sure.
Take a look at Marth again. Let's see how fearful she is. She's still scared. Almost felt like she could surpass it, but she decides that she's just going to run again.
So you want to dash?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure you're not cheesing yourself out of any movement. Yeah, you moved the full 60. So you run down into the massive hallway and you start to go down these large giant stones, just booking it down as you now enter the main kind of entrance of the temple. Next, what's up?
Real quick. How tall, when Imrith is standing on the ground, like how tall is her shoulder?
Her shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
That's a very interesting question. I would say, honestly, probably around 20, 30 feet.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Curious. All right. Next up is Suter. And he is going to see our good buddy Bjornhilda in the back. And she says, she just spins around, being caught off guard by this strike, actually. She doesn't get to say anything. She's yelling for you to run, Livy. And then suddenly you hear her breath kind of knocked out of her as you spin around. You see that Suter, the statue of the fire giant, punches into her back, knocking her down. She picks herself up and says, "This is a great hunt if it is my last. Thank you, Great White Tiger." And it will pound into her and hit her again. And she is now bloodied as she is having a trouble outrunning this giant statue of a giant. Next up is Memner, who has been animated to life, and he too is going to begin to walk over to Harshnag. You hear Imrith call out, "Don't finish him off too soon. I want him to watch as his friends die." Stromnus is going to try to cut you guys off as he can move 30 feet. Let's get that over here. And he looks like he's doing a pretty good job of almost cutting you guys off. It's going to be close. Harshnag, now being up, he is going to see that despite his best efforts, there's nothing that he can do to hold down Imrith. He knows that he's no match for him, so he picks himself up, using Gert to kind of like as a crutch to pick himself up off his one bloodied knee. You see that his left arm, that his off arm, is completely sundered and just barely hanging on by a few tendons of flesh as Imrith has just mauled him. And he yells out across the room through the chaos, and you hear him say, "Livy, when you speak with Aaron next, tell him we're even." And for the first time across the room, you see Harshnag has a smile on his face, and he lunges forth in what power he has left and just slams it into the statue of the Allfather. As he does this, there's this resonant sound as if it's way too powerful for the strike that he has done. And it's almost kind of magical in nature as a giant strikes a symbol of the giant of gods. The entire temple begins to shudder, and it makes this explosive noise. The frost giant scowls as the Memnor spirit, sorry, I'm losing my words here. The stone giant tries to pound. He jumps out of the way, and then again, with all of his power, swinging his arm without a care to his body, chunks into the statue, this time breaking off a large chunk. This act of desecration causes a crack as it begins to run down the Allfather. It hits into the floor and begins to spider across all the rooms, up the ceilings, as you begin to hear the temple itself come down. It's as if a mountain is beginning to fall all around you as stones break away, and he yells out one last time, "Flee! Your fate lies elsewhere." And that will be Harshnag, as he just gives everything he has into desecrating the eye of the Anam, the Allfather. Can't speak today. Sunlit cannot use her super movement this turn, but she, however, moves quite fast anyways, as she has 40 feet. So she is going to run and run and run and run as she begins to get out of the way. On initiative 20, however, Warrendale, you need to give me a dexterity saving throw as the temple around you begins to come down from Harshnag's self-sacrificing act of desecrating his god.
Dexterity. Got it. What I got? 15? 13.
13, my friend, is enough, maybe? Where does it say? Dex save or be hit. 13. Why doesn't it tell me? That's annoying. I gotta actually, pull up something here.
No problem.
Where is the information that I need? Boo. Yeah, 13 is good. So you take half damage. You take, I've already halved it for you, 9 damage. As rocks begin to fall on you, icicles begin to sink. These large, like dagger-like or sword-like icicles break off the ceiling. You just barely miss one, but before you know it, another one kind of brushes into you, knocking you momentarily astray in the air. You pick yourself back up and begin to float, though. What do you do on your turn?
What's that to use from Hilda? Shit. So I can drop my levitation. So I'm going to drop that so I start to fall to the ground. Once per day I can make it so I don't take falling damage. So you guys see Warren, as he's floating up in the about 80 feet off the ground, just bottom out and fall to the ground. But I land in that sort of pose with like one knee down, one hand on the ground. These cracks spreading out from where I landed. I'm going to, I guess, move that 5 feet. So I'm right beside Octavius. And with that, for my actual action, I'm going to grab a hold of him sort of at the front of his chest, his armor, and pull him in close and dimension door both of us the hell out of here. I can go all the way outside this building with one other person. So that is what I'm going to do.
Oh, dang. Did you already measure it?
Yeah, I got 500 feet and it's only 200 and something.
Nice.
Which would be out around the corner a little bit just in case she decides to let loose a lightning bolt down this hallway. We were both out of the way.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. So with that, let's get you guys there. Just bamf out of the way. That's sick.
Thanks.
That's like some Doctor Strange stuff. He begins to levitate down, like quickly falling, and then launches in front of you, kind of grabs onto your arm, and is like, "We're getting out of here." You see this magical door just kind of bamf in front of you, and then you guys just walk through it, and suddenly you guys are gone.
Wow.
And I guess you can't hold a bonus action, though, correct? That has to be on your turn? All
Yeah,
right.
it has to. Bonus action has to be on your turn.
Man, how do you look, Livy?
She looks really far away from you right now.
Yeah, I know. All right, I guess that's all I can do this round. So yeah, that's it.
All right, Imrith is now up, and she scowls out in an immense rage. What have you done, you foolish giant? And rocks begin to fall around her too, as she must make a dexterity saving throw. Imrith, the dragoness of statues, has to make her first saving throw. And she fails it as a bunch of icicles and rocks pound right on her head. And she does not seem to enjoy that, although it didn't actually do the damage like I wanted it to. There we go. She will, however, send out another one of her shocking beams to animate the stones. And she says, listen to my commands, you foolish statues. Catch them. Do not let them escape. And Scoreus, the stone giant king or god, begins to animate himself. And she will begin to try to make her way out. But in this room, it is much more difficult for her to do so as things are flying around and she got bopped on the head. She technically loses a bunch of her movement. But she is, however, right behind. And holy shit, I just realized in the grand scheme of things, cut off Bjornhilde. That is, I'm sure you guys think that's planned, but I actually did not think of that. Octavius, you're like in the battle of your life, not knowing if you're going to make it. The temple begins to fall down, and then suddenly you are now hear the howling wind of the outdoors of the spine of the world. You look and you see the mountainous terrain. Before you is this large causeway, this like icy bridge that spans out from the west. And you remember that this temple is found on the side of this enormous cliff that just plunges for thousands and thousands of feet. You see in the distance across this long causeway where your airship should be. Although the snow is so thick in this blizzard that you cannot see it, you know somewhere out there is Del Savine and the airship. Yet your friends are still stuck in the temple and you still hear the mountain rumble as it comes down. What do you do?
Octavius will look back. He'll see down the whole hallway. He'll be able to see the dragon Emerith starting to get close, cutting off Bjornhilde, realizing probably no time left. He'll use a Thunderwave to try to signal Delphina to let her know that we're here and we need to be picked up quickly. You're muted, man.
Do you have anything? Sorry, do you have anything particular you want to signal her with? You can, I guess, cast light if you wanted.
Well, I'll use Thunderwave to make like a caw caw.
I don't know if that would sound like that opposed to a massive thunderous pounding, but is it you want to do Thunderwave?
Yeah.
All right. You just slam your hands together and suddenly boom echoes out across the mountainside as you seem to have added to the rumbling of the mountain now.
Sweet. Trap that dragon in there.
And all your friends too. I love it. Bjornhilde. Holy shit. What does she even do? Realizing that she is not making it, she is going to spin around and look to the giant and say, Harshnag, we have not known each other for a long time, but you are a brave warrior, and this has been a mighty hunt. I shall join you. And she spins around and begins to hack into the All-Father also. Rolling a natural 20. Jesus. And then she's still frightened technically, but still getting a good chunk into it. With a natural 20, I'm going to say that literally the room just caves in, Livy, and you're going to need to make a dexterity saving throw. As you see Emrith with rage in her eyes begin to head towards the double door, you think that it's only going to be a matter of seconds before she catches you. You hear this battle cry from Bjornhilda, and then suddenly, poof, the whole room collapses. Dex save to see if you're caught in it.
All right. Is that supposed to be at disadvantage?
Nope, it's a dex save.
Cool. All right, right. Saves, its ability, and attacks. Oh, 24.
24. You jump out of the way. However, you are going to take still half damage, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I don't know how bad you are, but let's roll it. Half of that is math, 13.
All right.
Okay. And that's Bjornhilda's action. Damn. Livy, you're now up. You hear for a moment as a massive dust cloud and rubble begins to sink and cause this cave in just before you. The rocks tumble and tumble and tumble for moments, seconds, and then suddenly the smoke just completely enveloping you begins to subside and waft down to the opening of the mountain.
Okay.
Then suddenly quiet.
Scramble. Catch up here.
Okay.
Just like, yeah, that's not that. Is she still? I guess she wouldn't be feared anymore because
you can't see her, yeah.
Yeah. And she'll be like, "Look, get the hell out of here and keep going."
Yep. So you can, move double movement. All right. Next up in the old initiative would be Sunlit. But before Sunlit begins to continue her run down the hill, it's been kind of like silent for a couple of moments as you're not sure if everyone was taken down in that cave-in, if Harshnag and Bjornhilda are lost, sacrificed. You probably assume the worst. But then she hears the stir of like the dirt pile as a couple of rocks rumble. You hear her call out in desperation, Bjornhilda? Harshnag? I imagine someone says something before Livy. I imagine you're like, no, it's not them or something like that. Or you see that Sunlit kind of turns around momentarily and seems like she's going to go back.
Yeah, she'd be like, Sunlit, they said run.
And then, she, as you hear that, bursting out from the rubble is our good buddy Suitor, the fire giant, or one of them. You don't know which one it is now, but you see his head like a zombie arm, only made of stone, pound out of the rubble and begin to claw his way through. That's the end of his turn, though, as the chase is on again. I'm going to get everybody else out of the initiative, though, for now, because it's clogged up. We'll keep him there. And next up is Sunlit, who will not Harshnag, not Bjornhilda. She is going to run. Just ducking down the hallway. Top of the initiative, Wandel.
I'm just waiting for the others to get out of there and keeping an eye for my lady friend to get her ass over here and pick us up.
Absolutely. All right, so you're just waiting. Octavius.
Is there any help that I can offer the group running towards us?
You got some spells. Maybe old.
They're still pretty far away.
Yeah, you can use your movement to head in a bit if you want. And if you did that, Sunlit is 25 feet away from you, and Livy is 80 feet away from you. They both are looking pretty beat up. And your Cure Wounds spell has a touch, so you can't Cure Wounds them. But you could use a mass healing word again, or something else.
Yeah, well, I'll run my full max movement 30 feet in, try to get as close to Livy as I can, and then I'll cast off Mass Heal Word so that I can get Sunlit and Livy inside of it.
Okay, sounds good. So again, a D4 plus your charisma.
Pulse will just shine out my hammer, and they'll feel the aura of heal come back into them.
Nice. Go ahead and roll it. D4 plus your wisdom.
Oh, shit. That's only 4.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So 4 for Livy. 4 for Warrendale. You can do that yourself, Warrendale.
Yeah, I got it right here.
And 4 for Sunlit. Very well. All right. And Octavios has casted 2 third-level spells now. All right. Bjornhilda is in the cave-in, so you guys don't know what's happening over there. Livy, you're now up as the chase is back on as another one of these statue giant gods does not seem to want the fun to stop. You're on mute.
Yep. Dum. So I guess on that note, no, it's wrong. Sorry, just trying to make sure. Which is bolt. 30-foot range. She doesn't want to see that close. So she's just going to pew pew with 2 shots and move 30 feet away. Damn.
All right.
Let's go. 1. Probably doesn't hit. 2.
Definitely. That one does.
Okay, cool. So we'll roll a grand total of 8 points of. Let's do cold damage. Yes, totally. And
Roll cold damage.
we'll move up 30-ish. And yeah, we'll call it good.
All right. Well, as you guys. Boom, boom. Okay, interesting. Next up is Suitor, and he is going to begin to move. And he can move a total of 30 feet. I guess he could technically dash if he wanted to. Let's see what 30 feet looks like. That's 45. So it puts him right there. And he does not have any range. So yeah, he's going to dash. He wants to kiss you. And as this thing starts to get to move, and now it's like fully been animated, you see that it actually moves pretty scarily fast. Next up is Sunlit, and she begins to step forward and finally get out. Livy, we've almost made it. And then she steps that one fateful step. And beneath her, she feels the pressure plate sink in. As in the moment, nobody really remembered to check the trap at the front door. So I will need a dexterity saving throw from... Are you in it, Livy? You might not actually be in it. Let me pull up. I know it has a radius, but I think you might be out. Double check. Oh, no, you are definitely in it.
Yay.
Dexterity saving throw.
Okie dokie. I can feel brunt. Woo!
I'm going to tell you that you probably want to spend an inspiration if you have it.
I'm going to use my future inspiration.
Oh, you have none?
Nope.
Oof. That's real bad.
Livy, as Sunny's running forward, she's doing the I'm running away and pew pew, and just full on whatever trap got triggered.
Oh boy. Well, let's see what happens then.
Is Death Ward still active on Livy?
You'll have to find out in a couple seconds. Livy, let's do Sunlit first. Sunlit. Way to spoil the anticipation, Dan. Oh, Sunlit. She failed too. She rolled a nat 9 with modifiers. Okay, let's roll the damage and see what happens. I'm sure this will be fun. As like a multi-ton stones begin to fall from the ceiling. Holy shit. They both try to jump out of the way as much as they will, but you see them just vanish beneath the stone. Next up is Warrendell. Warrendell, what you see is a 40-foot wide, 40-foot tall, 20-foot thick slab of stone just fall as your friends are just about made it out. You see that look on Sunlet's face as she realized she stepped on the pressure plate, and then boom, it just falls on top of them.
Does it fall all the way, or do I have time to do something before it lands on them, such as teleport them out of there?
What kind of teleport do you have?
Well, I have Misty Step as a bonus action, which will put me up to either one of them, and then I can grab another one and do Dimension Door as my standard action to get them out.
Okay.
But I don't know if I can have time for that or not.
I will give you the chance to choose one of them, but if you fail, you two will be underneath the stone, and I can tell you that it is some real bad damage.
Where am I? Ooh, actually, I don't know if I wouldn't be able to reach Livy. It'd have to be Sunlit.
As a bonus action, Livy could cast Dimension Door.
As a bonus action?
Yeah.
How the heck can you cast Dimension Door as a bonus action?
I'm pretty sure that's the casting.
No,
thing,
Misty
right?
Step is a bonus action. Dimension Door is standard.
If it would have been your turn when you activated the pressure plate, then you could have done that. But since it was unfortunately Sunlit who won the race there,
I know.
But yeah, it's up to you, Morgan. If you want to try to do it, the stone, you do have like the splittest of seconds where you might be able to do this. If not, it's gonna fall on top of them. You know you can't save both.
And I can only reach Sunlit anyway with my Misty Step. I wouldn't quite reach it. I don't imagine I'd be able to move forward than Misty Step. There's no way I'd have time. So, sorry, Livy, but I can't reach you. Let me make sure that's all right though. So Misty Step, yeah, is a bonus action and then standard. So yeah, you can see Warren as he sees Sunlit step on this trigger, and he remembers, helping everybody across this once before, flying them across. And he realizes what's going to happen. His image will blur just the slightest, and with this crackle of lightning and this smoke of the smell of cinder and brimstone, he's gone. Right beside Sunlit. Yeah, right next to Sunlit. Grab a hold of her. Give Livy that sort of apologetic look and hope that she can get out of there in time. And I will do both Misty Step and then Dimension Door to pull her right back out next to Octavius.
All right, give me a dexterity saving throw, as this is going to be some cutting it close.
Oh, let's see. Well, I tried. I tried.
Oh my goodness.
Do I have it? No, I do not have inspiration.
Nobody has inspiration? I feel like that's a blunder.
I tried.
Actually, Dan, you have inspiration. You're the only one.
I do. Can I give it to anybody?
Yeah, you can give it to anybody.
I'll give it to Morgan.
All right.
Let's see if I can get another natural one. Maybe I can get a 2. Or a 5.
Oh my goodness. You guys.
I don't think I've rolled above like a 5 yet this game.
Okay. This is interesting.
I tried.
This is interesting. All right. So yeah, you try to get in and you do your best to get under there, but you two are caught underneath the stone. I can tell you that you're definitely bare minimum unconscious without question.
I don't think I have anything else.
Octavius. It was going so well for how bad it was going, and then it just suddenly got real bad as you see this unfold. Warrendale tried as he might to yell out and warn them, knows that he can't stop Sunlit in time, bamfs over with Misty Step, tries the dimension door, but there's not enough time, and then all three of them, poof, swallowed by this ton stone. What do you do?
Octavius would fall to his knees and start praying to his god for strength to save his friends. Right before, if there's any way, I have nothing. I don't think I have any spells that'll. I'd try to cast Beacon of Hope.
Beacon of Hope.
Just to make myself feel a little better.
All right. You also know that you have Revivify. If they are dead, if you get to them in a minute, you can save them. But you need to get to them. Beacon of Hope is you choose any number of creatures, and for the duration of the spell, which is 1 minute, you have advantage on Wisdom saving throws and Death saving throws. And regain. So cool. You have advantage on Death saving throws.
And then I'll just start running towards the avalanche or the, you know what I mean. I'm running
towards the stone. All right, Livy. I can tell you that for sure you are unconscious, but you are the stipulation actually because of. We're just gonna say that you don't know what's going on for right now because you're in an interesting place right now.
Okay. I will hold my action.
Yep. You were in an interesting place. Dan or Octavius, you run up to the stone and you begin to pray till it'll matter to do anything in this moment as all three of your friends have now been presumably taken from you. And before long, the stones begin to lift. And you see
where?
Straight up, slowly at first, and then it's as if a mechanism kind of catches and it begins to lift up itself. And then you see Sunlit, you see Warrendale dead. You see Livy should be dead, but somehow underneath the weight of that is at 1 HP. And then you think, great, I can save my friends. But then to your horror, you see that it's Sutor, the statue of the fire giant, that has lifted these stones up. And then now as he started to pull it up, he kicks in the mechanism after a certain time, and it begins to wheel itself back up as three of your friends now underneath this mess. What do you do?
Octavius will run in, wielding his weapon high, anger shining in his eyes. Do I need to attack this statue to get to my friends, or can I get to my friends before I attack the statue?
Nope. If you look on the map itself, I'm kind of screen sharing it, and I'll zoom in. You are the guy furthest to the west, and this is the stone statue that lifted up the stones, and your friends are all in here, smushed.
All right. Yeah, so I'll run up to... I'll run up to Warrendale, and I don't even know if this is going to work, but I'll cast Spare the Dying.
Okay.
And then I'll try to use the power of the ring to do whatever the powers of the ring will do.
Ooh, interesting. The ring. All right, let me tell you what options you have since we didn't discuss the ring. Dan currently doesn't have access to Fantasy Grounds, so he doesn't get to know what all this cool shit does. However, there is nothing that can bring back the dead. So you can do a healing spell, but as you look at Warrendale, you know with the utmost of certainty that he is currently dead. So in terms of what you can do. You can leave him dead, or you have Revivify. Or, no, Spare the Dying. It's too late. He's dead.
How many third level spell slots do I have?
You have, oh my god, only one left.
I will cast Revivify on Warrendale.
Holy shit. Okay. Then, Warrendale, you, Corey's gonna hate me, are back to consciousness. You touch one creature that has died in the last minute. The creature is returned to 1 HP. The spell can't return in life from blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you have 1 HP, Warrendale. As Octavios kneels before you, praying to his god to bring you back.
At the after I no, I'm just wondering, can I use my preserve life attribute as a bonus action to heal Warren after I see him wake?
Preserve life is coming from what? Sorry,
It's coming from my divinity.
oh, your divinity. Let me find it. Divinity, preserve life. It is an action, so no. You have to wait till next turn.
Cool.
You can technically, no, you can't. Or you could cast Mass Healing Word as a 4th level spell, but
Nope.
No. Okay, good.
Like, I don't have any 4th level spells left. I cast Death Ward on Libby.
All right, Livy. Somehow, or does Death Ward bring you back to consciousness? I gotta check this out. Sorry, we're getting into uncharted territory here for me, as this one trap has quickly sent us off.
She's either way, she's in a daze of just like, what is my life right now?
Yeah, you're still conscious somehow. You are in absolutely disgusting shape, as every part of your bone should be broken now. But somehow, thanks to Octavios's death curse, you have 1 HP.
I wish I was dead, but
Yeah,
since I'm alive, she's going to use dancing lights, and she has no idea if it's going to affect this giant, but she is going to put those lights as in front of his face to make it more difficult and annoying. And she is going to try and hobble carefully away.
all right.
I feel like she would not be moving fast.
No, I'm gonna say that your movement's definitely restricted.
Yeah. She probably has a crushed leg somewhere and ribs. But yeah, so hopefully those dancing lights kind of give them some cover, and the idea is that it'll just be this bright light if it uses any kind of sight.
Yep.
Yeah,
I dig it. Next up should be Suitor, and Suitor, I lost my doobity da. There it is. Okay, and Suitor begins to push forward this ever-pressing merciless stone giant, and boof, it's as if death is coming for you. There is no escaping this horrible situation, as it's quickly went awry. He steps forward again and begins to wind up his punch. And then as he gets just basically right on top of you guys, a ballistic arrow comes soaring through into the chest of this thing. And as you look the other way, I shit you not, Delphine rolled a 13, and this thing has a 9 on the initiative. You look back and see Delphine and the crew on the airship, and they have launched the massive ballistic weapon right into the tunnel, slamming into this thing. So it is still going to swing at you guys, but it is going to swing at disadvantage and take some damage from the ballistic. Let's do that. And the damage didn't roll for some reason. There we go. Actually, in the grand scheme of things, ballistic actually does not hurt it, but at least it stuns it, kind of momentarily distracting it, and it will make an attack at... Who is up? Probably you, Octavios, since you're the one doing all the rezzing. TPK.
just be steps on Libby to get to Octavius.
Octavius, you have an AC of
18, I believe.
18, and I rolled a 17. Disadvantage. Otherwise, it would have been a 24. So, Sunlit, death saving throw, but no, right, she's dead. She's super dead. No death saving throw. Warrendale, you're at 1 HP, and this fucking stone statue giant will not leave you alone. And you are, for the second time, brought back from the brink of death. Not even the brink. You're brought back from death by Octavius.
I was having a good game of Roll the Bones with my deadly dream friend there. That is
The gambler.
okay. A gambler. I'm assuming I'm engaged with this thing then, right? Because it's right there.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
And then Delphine, I don't actually have. I'll just drag her actual token on there. It's now flying kind of in uncharted territory on the map, but let me get this over here and then reveal the rest of the map. She's kind of flying above, and you guys can probably see it by now, I think. But
yeah,
she's a big C.
With that, I'll give Octavius a bit of a smile, covered in blood, probably some broken bones. See a rib poking out of the side of my gut. Reach down, grabbing one of these pebbles from the cracked floor. Pick it up. As I kind of shove it forward, it'll launch from my hand, just smashing into the chest of this thing. It does so in this quick blink. I'm going to spend a couple sorcerer's points, do this as a... I don't know where they went. As a bonus action, cast Shatter on this thing.
All right.
I think I can make it so it rolls over onto it, maybe, if I can get it to work. Did it work?
Yeah, I failed.
All right, and then try that. And then as my action, you see all these little pebbles as it smashes into this thing. They each explode one after another, almost like ballistic fire or something. And every one of those pebbles in turn just blows off again. So I'm just going to do the same thing twice in hopes of at least doing something to this thing.
Succeeded this time, apparently.
I think everything should have applied regardless, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just not factoring in the vulnerability, but that's okay. I can do that manually. That puts them at that. So as you give your best attempt to shatter this thing, and you know that it has a weakness to the spell, it's still this incredibly powerful, unbloodied, unsundered statue of a giant god, and whatever natural magical abilities Imrith had to animate this thing, it must be some extremely powerful magic, because it is taking a whooping, and it isn't bloodied yet.
And that is it.
You staying put, or are you moving?
It's going to get that attack on me if I move.
True.
I don't think I have anything to stop that either.
All right.
Misty Step is bonus, so no, I don't have an action. I'm going to save my reaction for shield just in case. So yeah, I'm good.
All right. Octavius, what do you do?
Would you be able to tell me what my second level spell, Calm Emotions, is as an action, bonus action?
All right, interesting. Calm Emotions is a action.
All right. Man, I am going to. Octavius is gonna just get infuriated at this point at the statue. And he's gonna charge the statue, raising his weapon high, and he's gonna jump as high as he possibly can. And he still probably was only gonna jam his hammer into the statue's knee, but he's going to smash with as great force as he possibly can. He's going to call upon his 8th level ability for the extra 1d8 against damage.
Cool.
And I'm going to roll. Oh, and the dice is down, but it came up with a 19 plus. That is
challenges and
5 plus 5, so that's 24.
That's a hit.
that, or there's like
So 1d8. So what's the damage for the hammer sword, man?
The hammer for the damage for the hammer is a D8. Make sure you roll them separately so that I know.
Okay.
What's up?
First one's a 5,
Okay.
I have no idea.
and the second one's a 5.
All right. So the 5 damage from your actual hammer does literally nothing to this thing, as it's immune to this damage. But your radiant damage, however, strikes true.
You go strange.
The Divine Strike bounces off the chest and probably doesn't do much damage at all to this thing, but Octavius stands triumphantly at its feet, looking up, and he just says, "Go! As fast as you can."
Livy, you're now up as Octavio says this, and you see the dragon cultist crew, Delphine and her friends in the airship, currently loading another ballistic arrow into the big ass gun, and she's screaming for you guys to get out of the way. Move.
I think Livy at this point is just like, sure. And she will Misty Step 30 feet because, yeah, that'll be a lot more pleasant than actually moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, choo, here she is. And that's a bonus action. So she will then shoot a bolt and see if it makes any purchase. And nope.
It does not hit. Maiden's Garden for the first time is having a real rough night.
We're all having a rough night, but yeah. And I suppose she'll make an effort to move just a little further.
Yep. I just gotta really quickly look at old Delphine's stat block here and see if she can actually help you guys. What can she do? Interesting. All right. You're going to see
More than
no. She's just going to continue to scream, you got to get out of the way. And then she's basically pointing at her crew and commanding them. And you see that the crew is lining up the ballistic. And at first it seems to be in line with the statue. But you start to see it aim it upwards. And anyone that's kind of Livy, I guess you have the broad's eye view, would look and you see that they're now changing the aim from the statue, which they are able to do nothing to, and now they're aiming at the big ass brick that's now over its head that essentially wrecked you guys. And that is them. However, the giant is now up and he is going for you, Octavios. 12 to hit. And oh my god, you're so incredibly lucky. 2 and a 5, so 12 and a 15. Both strikes miss.
Peeking and moving. Peeking and weaving.
Duck and weave. Warrendell, you hear your estranged lover, Delphine, yelling with ferocity in her voice to get the hell out of the way.
Yes, my love. So I got the question. Did my dimension door go off, or do I still have that spell slot?
I'm going to say that it didn't go off because you got crushed to death.
So that was figuring too. Okay.
Luckily, you have a cleric in the party.
And Sunlit obviously looks dead to me, right?
Yeah, in terms of death saves or dead, she definitely is pretty dead.
One could sell anyway. Okay. So I will reach over, grab Octavius by his wrist as he's getting ready to pound into this thing again relentlessly, and dimension door both of us.
Octavius is saying no, it has to be a willing creature. Are you actually not letting him?
Yeah, Octavius will resist the dimension door. And Vorndell can step through. Octavius will rip his hand back so Vorndell is safe.
Do you instead want to take Sunlit Since
If I can, yeah, I would. But I mean,
yeah.
Okay, well, if he's taking Sunlit, yeah, I'll run. Yeah, that's fine. Because I'm not leaving without her.
okay.
It's up to you. It's up to you. Yeah, you can't take Octavius because he's not willing. But I will say that you can take Sunlit because she is currently lifeless, so she doesn't have a will.
Right. So yeah, if he motioned to that, then I'd do as he wanted. So yeah, I'll grab her and up here next to my love and put my arm around her and smile.
She looks to you and scours and says, "What the hell are you idiots doing?" And then before you get a time to answer, Octavius, what are you doing now standing alone with this thing?
Yeah, Octavius is going to use his action to disengage. He's going to yell as loud as he can, "Loose!" And he's going to start running as fast as he can back towards the ship.
Oh, dang. I like it. And they did have an action readied. So they fire it and boof, the ballistic slams into the stone, which is almost, the mechanism has almost fully like risen it back into its spot. And then it begins to, again, plummet, but this time off the rails, just grinding and sparks flying as stone on stone begins to fall. I guess the stone giant does get a dexterity saving throw. He does not make it, however. So now he takes the most ridiculous amount of damage of all time. Let's see if he survives it. He potentially could. You guys 100% did not. Where is it again? Give me a second here. Bam, 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 and okay. Interesting. You see the suitor, the statue of the fire giant's god, poof, crumpled underneath the stone, disappears as the stone itself is actually like I said, 40 foot wide, 40 foot tall, and 20 foot thick. It just like lands on top of him and it disappears. Livy, you're breathing heavy. You're muted.
Yep. Goodness. She actually has another cast of misty stuff that she could do. So she look at Tavius, just like, "You good?" Just to make sure that like you're gonna be able to get up there, right? And then she would.
I'll follow you.
Huh?
I'll follow you.
The airship is like releasing a rope ladder down. It's kind of hovering like 30 feet.
She wouldn't be able to. She's not climbing that. She's just misty stepping up.
Yeah. Okay, so you bamf on up. Okay, that leaves Octavius. You're the last one to get up.
Yeah, as Octavius.
Sorry, Wandel, did you want to do anything before I skip to Octavius? I guess I shouldn't skip you. You're muted, but I see you shaking your head in a general no.
Well, can I try? I suck at it. Can I try a medicine check on the kitty cat?
Yep, give it a try.
Probably won't help, but hey.
A 10? A 10 is enough for you to know that there is no pulse on Sunlit, and a lot of her bones, just like yours, are broken beyond belief.
She'll need more than I can offer.
Octavius.
Yeah, as Octavius grabs the rope to the airship, he'll start to climb, his body beaten and battered. But as he reaches hand over hand, a smile will come across his face.
What's the point
as the night of torturing himself starts to flash back in his mind. And he's just glad that he persevered and he can make it through for his friends.
Yeah,
this rope is simple in his mind now. It's just another pain. Just something that he needs to go through to get to his friends again. And then as he gets onto the airship, he looks to Sunlit, lays on her body, fully, grasping onto her sides, and he casts everything in his power to be able to even trade places with her, or to share a part of his life force with her. Something that will give her hope.
No, I know that you can hang out with him unless you're...
All right, give me a second here to look up your shit. I think you're honestly in a bad spot right now.
There have been circumstances that allowed me to, take massive damage to my own body to help out the bodies of my friends. So I'm leaning on the masterful DM to possibly give us a ray of light.
Would you say a sunlight in the darkness?
I like your beard.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really
Now,
nice.
you know that when Warrendale died so long ago in Nightstone, that you were able to reach out and basically get him back from the dead. But at that certain point, that was because there was a threshold in the Feywild that was much closer than you are now, so very far away from the Feywild. He got sent to another plane of existence essentially in his death because of Feyetta being there, the satyr that is Livy's grandmother. Here, however, you're very far away from that Feywild. You're very far away from any glimmer of hope, as this is the end of the world. This is where no man or woman could ever live. And as you pray to Ilmater to do anything, you'll sacrifice any cause. Tears roll down your face. But there is unfortunately no answer.
A tear will roll down mine. Just continuously, at the point where now I'm bawling physically like a child over top of Sunlet's body. No shame. Just crying.
I'll look over at Delphine. Do you have any potions? Cleric, priest on board. Somebody who can help this cat.
She looks at you and seeing kind of what your group's going through. She's a pretty bitchy woman, but even her, she's not going to really give you any attitude. And she just, I'm sorry, Warren. She's gone. I don't even know how you're standing, to be honest. What the hell did you guys get yourself into in there? Sounds like the whole mountain's coming down.
Wait, want to get this shit out of here.
Yeah. And then she would tell you that she does have like priests on board, but none more powerful than Octavios, who is a pretty like strong cleric now. And they would see to you and begin to administer first aid to you all. But no one has a revivify on them. No one has any capabilities greater than Octavios. And unfortunately, Octavios cannot cast revivify in a minute, which means that next time he gangs his spells back, it will be too long. And you begin to descend the airship up as they actually begin to try to tear Octavios off of Sunlit so that they can, I imagine, like heal him too. You guys are all on the brink of death. Warrendale and Livy, you guys have 5 points of exhaustion as every bone in your body, you now realize in the aftermath of this adrenaline, is broken. You just had like a 20-ton thing fall on top of you. It probably isn't 20 tons, but it was like no one should have survived that. It's only because of the miracles of Octavios that you guys are even alive. However, unfortunately, as the airship flies away and the blizzard begins to pound into this hot air balloon propelled airship, the mountain does begin to crumble even further. An avalanche goes off, and the Eye of the All-Father, Harshnag, Belladora, and the hellish entity that is Imrith are swallowed into the mountains. The howling winds blow your ship every which way as the crew struggles to get you guys in any direction. The ship is not meant to weather these storms. They force you guys below deck. And then I think just because that's a kind of unexpected ending, I think and it's around. I think it's a little short. I think we'll probably end it there unless anybody wants to say anything else. As you guys are pulled below deck to get out of the storm, the priests begin giving you guys minor like cure wounds spells. That's all they have, and like basic healing potions. But they tell you it's going to be a long day of, or it's going to be a long week of healing before you guys are capable again. Does anyone want to say anything in closing?
When Octavius wakes up from his first long rest, he'll find the room where they hose Sunlet's body. He'll cast his Speak with the Dead, put his hands on the body of Sunlet, start weeping, and just say, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." And you fade out there if you want.
Yeah, we'll fade out there for your scene. Does Livy or Warrendale want to do anything?
Go ahead.
I guess it'd be notable to the others that Livy's definitely kind of lost in her own thoughts, which is unusual for her, someone who's always has a story or something upbeat to say, but she's certainly just in deep thought this week as she recovers. And yeah.
Warrendale?
Warren looks to be in a particularly bad mood, surprisingly. He'll stay off to the side, let himself heal over the next few days or as needed. He doesn't want these clerics to really touch him or do anything, unless they absolutely do, regardless. But otherwise, yeah, he doesn't really say anything or do anything. He sort of sits in the corner, taps his feet, waits impatiently. I have the ability to help loosen up storms and stuff around us if there's any issues like that. So he basically try to busy himself, help him with the ship, speed it along with his pendant, and try to keep it winds moving, basically.
Yeah, so declare, unless you like adamantly fought about it, they would like be trapping you down because you literally are like basically you're broken boned and everything. I imagine that if you insisted on it, you have 5 points of exhaustion. So like if you wanted to, you could say fuck that, like don't touch me, don't heal me, get away from me, and exert yourself. But you are on the brink of death. What's that, Octavius?
I try to fill in for the clerics if that would make Warrendale more comfortable.
Yeah, most certainly.
Yeah, as much as you probably want to do something and like not be hurt and not deal with what just happened and like keep yourself busy, the wounds and injuries that you sustained kind of force you to just be alone with your thoughts and think about the events that just transpired. And I think, unfortunately, that is where we'll end it. Corey is going to absolutely hate me. I'm sorry, but we will deal with this next session, I guess. Interesting turn. But yeah, until next time, guys, we'll see you around.
Cheers.